Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce Aggie Salter, Instructional Technology Coach from Montello, Wisconsin. I just want to let everyone know that we'll try to address as many questions as we can at the end of the session. If for some reason your question does not get answered, we will be answering questions later on that you can view later on during the session, in this session with this link. Okay, so please enjoy Aggie's presentation on virtual field trips.
Thank you, Lexi.
Welcome.
I'm just going to need a second to share my presentation. Okay, we have no rights to demand students' attention. We must plan for it. This is one of my very favorite quotes, and I think about so many issues that are happening in education right now are due to the fact that we continue to teach our children the way that we were taught. So we forget that our children and our students grew up in a totally different world, and they're so used to the digital world that when we just put books and worksheets in front of them, we're really fighting for their attention. So today I'm going to talk about creating meaningful, engaging, and relevant learning activities using virtual field trips. About 2 weeks ago, our fifth grade students had the opportunity to talk to Virginia Galactic astronauts, John and Ron, who were talking to them about how it feels like to go into space and what it takes. And as they're getting ready to, our students are getting ready to build the rocket ships. So they also talked to Ben, who's the structural engineer, about building rockets and what it takes to do that. And this was done due to Google Connected Classroom. And I will have this presentation under the resources. So once you click on the Google Connected Classroom link, it will take you to the Google Connected Classroom community. And you can see, you can sign up for having guests in your classroom, like artists, songwriters, scientists, and I'm just going to show you a quick video that tells you a little bit about the virtual field trips and connected classroom. Can she see?
Today we did a virtual field trip. Schools from across the country were able to join us via a Google Hangout. It's really easy to connect us with the whole wide world.
Do octopuses see in color?
Very good question. Actually, no, they do not. They are colorblind.
We are, for the first time in history, with this space station, we're leaving Earth. And it is just too good an experience not to share.
Let's say hello to Max. Say hi, Max.
There you are. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so that was the Google Connected Classroom. So the goals for today, I already talked to you about the Connected Classroom. I would like to talk to you about Google Cultural Institute, Google Maps, Google Earth, Google Lit, and more virtual tools in Google Cardboard and the new Treasures app. So Google Cultural Institute is amazing tool for any teacher, but especially for history teachers and art teachers. If you click on the history moments, you're able to search for any important events from history. And one of my favorite ones is the Statue of Liberty. So if you click on it, your students are able to see the history and timeline of how the Statue of Liberty was built. And a lot of these also include videos. So this is just amazing digital resource for your classroom. The art project section is really, really awesome because it really encourages 21st century skills in thinking and collaboration. So for example, my students did a unit on Renaissance. And in this unit, they had to compare, they had to talk about art, music, and history and history, and how the world of Renaissance changed today's world. So I had my students pick 2 pictures. So this is a picture from late Renaissance. And then another picture from early Renaissance. And when you click on Start Comparing, they were able to see how the world was at the beginning of the Renaissance. The pictures were very, very simple. There's no background. And then it wasn't until later on that Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and other artists discovered the perspective that you can see now the background is different. But you can also put any pictures and just use this as a writing prompt project. And finally, my other favorite thing about the Institute is the tour of the White House. So your students can see all different documents and pictures that are located in the White House, but they can also take a tour. So they can walk around and they just think it's the coolest thing in the world. So again, this is again bringing real life experience to our students in their classrooms. The next thing I want to talk to you about is Google Maps. And Google Maps you can use on Chromebooks and iPads, everywhere. So one of the things that I had my students do is we were doing summer school, we were creating the map of our city, Montello. And you can click on the Earth view. And as you can see, they were able to put, this is where our school is, this is where the park is. And it's a super, super simple, easy tool to use. So for example, if I want to search for Montello Fire Department, there it is. And if I click on it, let me go back. You can add it to your map. Go back. You have to make sure you open in the original map. So now when I click Montello Fire Department, there it is. And you want to add it to the map. And here's where they can explore different icons. So I'll just, I'll put fire. But they can also add pictures. So if they actually have their own pictures of their own house, they can always do that. I have seen teachers use this also, for a timeline in history, like if they're reading a book, you know, things that happen in different parts. All right. And here's just a picture of when my son and I went to New York. We were, you know, in a walking distance of everything. So we just put the pictures of things that we wanted to see. I want to show you some quick games that you can install on Chromebooks. And they're all web-based games. But this will encourage you students to, you know, use the research and find different things. So in this game, you have to pretend that they're pretending they were kidnapped, and they have to figure out where they are. So right here, you know, you have to figure out what country, what street you might be on. So I see palm trees. You know, I usually make my students work together on this, because this is can get pretty tricky. So I'm gonna guess it's Los Angeles. You have to make sure you spell it correctly. So obviously I win. Earth Picker is a little bit tougher because this one has to deal with them trying to figure out where they are in the world. And, you know, then there's, you know, some other ones. And like I said, sometimes, you know, we have a couple minutes left at the end of the class, and it's just a great tool to teach our students global awareness. All right, now I'm going to talk about Google Earth because it is absolutely amazing tool. And I do have a download for Google Earth, but you can also download Google Earth Pro now. Is also free for educators. So just give me a second as I'm going to turn on my Google Earth. All right, so my students absolutely love Google Earth, and I use it a lot whenever we study different composers. I'm also a music teacher, so every time they get so excited whenever we study different composers because they're like, okay, we get to go on Google Earth and go different places. So a couple weeks ago, or probably a month ago, we had opera singers come to our school and perform Beauty and the Beast, who was written by a French composer. And so even though our students, you know, have this great opportunity of, you know, listening to the opera, in our school, I wanted them to get the feel or what it feels like and what it felt like for the people that watched this opera the first time in French by the French composer. So we decided to take a trip to the opera house in French. So I'm going. And again, as they're flying across, you know, it gives them a great experience of and a view of just how far, you know, France is. So when you take this little guy, you are able to put him in a point where you want him to go. And right now we are inside of the Opera House. And you can travel, take a view, walk around. It was kind of funny because we were able to go to the dressing rooms, and my students, of course, thought it was funny that the women's dressing rooms were so much bigger than the boys. So, the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is of Google virtual field trips, lit trips, and so I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you the link to how to download Google Lit Trips. But right now, I'm going to show you one of the ones that I already downloaded. And there's just so many different resources. And what Google Lit Trips are, they're divided by grade levels, and a lot of the books that are popular, you can download a tour that goes along with the book that your students are reading. So for example, one of my favorite was The Diary of Anne Frank. So right now, and again, it takes it through it takes it through the timeline in the story. So right now, one of the first things they show you is the house. And if you look around, this is just absolutely cool because you can see it's the same, it's, Germany right now. And because you can recognize the cars, they're brand new. But this is the house that she lived and grew up in. And, talking about bringing real life experience to her students. There's a timeline that I'm not sure that you'll be able to see, but the next building and the next link is the secret annex that they were hiding, or that she was hiding in. So again, you can go down to the street views, but your students know that this is where the room that she was hiding, she was hidden in, is right behind. Finally, the next is the Auschwitz concentration camp. And again, if you take this little guy, you can go down to the street view and see the concentration camp. And you can also click on the pictures to see the streets of Auschwitz. All right, so I highly, highly encourage you to use Google Earth because it is so much fun. One of the other tours that you can download there is a tour of Titanic. So you can actually go and see Titanic and see exactly where it's down in the ocean, which is really, really cool. All right, so here is the link to Google Lit Trip. Like I said, once you click on it, you'll be able to find your grade level and search for the books that are, that you might be considering and using in your classroom. And it takes a couple steps. You have to register and you have to download the book. But as you notice, it downloaded straight to Google Earth. So then you can do the trip. All right. Next thing I'm going to talk to you about is Google Sky, because we're hoping to have a visitor in a little bit. And Google Sky is an amazing tool for those classrooms that are studying planets. You can click on moon, and then your students can go not only see what the moon looks like, but also it has pictures and descriptions of different times where people landed on the moon. they do love to see Mars because it's so colorful. But even though we tell them that, until they actually see it, you know, it's just kind of fun to see what it really looks like. All right. I do have some more resources for virtual field trips, and some of the resources that I use are from Simple K-12. And in this top 7 virtual field trips, some of them are ones that I already mentioned, but it will provide you with the links and descriptions of different field trips. I want to just go back for a little bit to Google Earth because, as you know, you can download your own tours, but your students can also create their own tours. So your older students can actually create different tours. Example that I did, and I used this tour. So right here, you can see that you can record. So as you're moving through different parts of the world or different parts of the city or whatever it is, you students can actually record. So it almost becomes a timeline, and it's a kind of video. So just want to make sure that you know that. So as they're talking about, this is just me talking.
A short video of our journey from Wisconsin back to Poland. So from Wisconsin,
And this is horrible video. I'm sure your students can do a better job.
we drove to Chicago, Illinois O'Hare Airport, which is
I was totally having fun with this.
airport. And the wall, as you can see, there's not
So, okay, this is very horrible tour. I'm sure your students can do a much better job, but they love this. You know, it's kind of like Minecraft to them. So they love creating tours. All right. All right, the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is Google Cardboard, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. But before I do that, I'm going to show you a quick video.
Hey everybody, this is Greg Komparek of TechCrunch, and we just got back from the Google I/O 2014 keynote. And every year at Google I/O's keynote, they kind of like to have this little Oprah moment where they give all the attendees, all the developers there, just some gift. And usually it's something pretty fancy. Sometimes it's a laptop, sometimes it's a Chromebook, sometimes it's a tablet, sometimes it's a phone. This year, Sundar got up there and said, "We're giving you guys cardboard," and everyone in the audience is just, yay! And they made up for it later. They gave out fancier gifts, but the cardboard ends up actually being really, really cool. So what it is it starts out looking like this. You tear this part off here, you do some folding. And it ends up looking like this. And if you've ever seen the Oculus Rift, the virtual reality headset, this might look kind of familiar. It's kind of a cardboard Oculus Rift. So what you do is you strap your phone in here. They've got an app running on it. You can kind of see it moving back and forth. And then they've got these lenses here, which if you're familiar with the Oculus Rift, blow the picture out around your vision. So as you're looking around, it's moving accordingly. But surprisingly, it's actually really, really, really amazing. One really neat trick here. I thought when I was putting it together, I thought this was just a little magnet to hold it in place to keep everything together. But it's actually a switch. So as you're looking around, and say you want to click on the YouTube app, you pull that down, and it's like a mouse click. All right, so it's kind of hard to show what it looks like through the lenses, but let's just take a peek behind the curtain here. And here's the app that's, go away. Here's the app that's actually running inside of Cardboard. There are a couple of apps. So there's a tutorial app, There's a tour guide, which lets you fly around inside of Google Earth. There's an exhibit, which just lets you look at this kind of museum piece and fly around it. There's Windy Day, which is this kind of cartoony, cutesy environment that you can look around and see the leaves blowing. The reason you're seeing two of each is because each of these pictures is going to one eye. These magnifying glasses here are blowing it into your vision. There's a more expansive Google Earth experience. There's a YouTube app. There's a Photosphere, which lets you look at 360-degree panoramic and just kind of leer around. And then Street View, which lets you do the same in Street View. It pops into the YouTube app. Just showing a video of it coming together, but if you look around, you can pick other videos from YouTube. So that one. And there you go. That's Google Cardboard.
So this is the Google Cardboard. And
the Adobe Ink and Slide is Adobe's first hardware
Oops.
gadget. They're calling it a Creative Cloud digital
Sorry
pen
about that.
and digital ruler. But
so, okay, I do have one of these, and they're absolutely amazing, and they're super, super cheap. They're like $17, and the kids love them. So all you do is, he said, you just put your phone here, and you download your apps, and it kind of goes. It's kind of like Google Glass, but I can't afford Google Glass, so I better afford Google Cardboard because it's awesome. So once you download the apps, you students are able to take a field trip to wherever your app takes you. So I know that he talked a lot about the apps that come with Google Cardboard, but I want to show you some other apps that you can download. Just if you give me one more second. And in one of the presentations, one of the apps, your students can walk around with the dinosaurs. So that's perfect for first, second grade when they're studying dinosaurs. They can also, there's an app where they can go, it's called Underworld. So I'm just trying to pull up my presentation again. All right, here we are. So there's one so this link to Google Cardboard will provide you instructions and how to buy and install the apps. But each one of these is actually linked to, one is a iPad or iPhone app, and the other one is Android app. So both of the Moonwalk is when your students, once your students put it on, they literally feel like they're walking on the moon, which is really, really awesome. The underwater one, they're underwater and there's with underwater creatures, which is pretty awesome. And then Dinosaurs Everywhere is one that when they put it on, there's they can select which dinosaur they're interested in studying, and they can look around. AR Dino Park is another dinosaur app, and Aquarium is not only underwater because they also have like penguins, and that's my students are absolutely in love with penguins, so they always want to go on that one. All right, Treasure app. It's a brand new app from Spain, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to create virtual field trips, but students, if you travel to a different part of the world, you can click on the city that you are in, and you have to find different parts of the city, and each time you find a different part, you click, and you get points. So again, this is an iPad app, but also Google Play app. And if you're interested in participating, I'm going to do a project with my summer school students that are actually going to create an app for Montello and the area that we live in. But I know that the creators of the app are actually, they want to make this educational, so they're looking for schools that will participate. Google Skype is very similar to Connected Classroom. And again, when I got started with Google Skype, I invited some songwriters. When we were learning a song from Japan, we invited a songwriter from Japan to talk to us. So it's kind of neat. But there's a lot of different things. And Mystery Skype. I wanted to, we were supposed to have a guest, but Perlina Rip, she is a creator of Global Read Aloud, sorry. And I asked her because she's on vacation right now, so she has no internet access. But I said, I'm like, okay, if there's one thing that you wanted to share about your project, what would it be? And she told me that it's very, very personal, and you can do as much as a little to connect your students with audience from around the world. So you sign up for the project and you read different books, and there's activities. So the Global Read Aloud Day is a project that happens every single year. All right, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. So if there's any questions, we can ask. Please share. I am going to put this information on the resources. So if you would like to add us to a Twitter handle or Google Plus community, please feel so, or contact us. And I have many, many, many ideas. Like I said, my students and all of our students love virtual field trips. And because of the world that we're living in, it's just great because we can make that experience happen to them every single day if we wanted to. All right, so we'll stay around for any questions for a couple more minutes. And if there are no more questions, we will disconnect. Okay, so we have just a couple questions. Do you want to read them?
Sure. This is for Lonnie. She just said that she missed the first part and she's wondering what is the Google access to museums and literacy. Iggy, if you want to explain that.
So I will post I will post the link. I will post it on the website, but also I will put the whole presentation as under the resources. So you are welcome to just click on the link, click on the name. So for example, it will be Google Cultural Institute, and you just click on it and it will take you to the link.
And then Shanita asked, what was the name of the program that you mentioned others connecting with you on?
I think you're referring to the Google Connected Classroom, which is actually Google Plus community. And also, if you go on my presentation, you click on the link, and you just have to ask to be part of the community. And you know, it takes a little bit for them to accept you as a member. But meanwhile, you can search for different for different projects that you can do. It was funny because during St. Patrick's Day, there were people from Ireland that wanted to join any classroom and wanted to sing songs and do cool activities. So there's always stuff going on.
Ricardo, you can find this presentation in the resources section. Iggy will put it on there, and you'll be able to access the presentation so you can access all the links that she put on her presentation.
Thank you.
If there's no more questions, then we'll probably disconnect then.
Thank you. Have fun with Google and field trips, and especially as I think about the last month of school, it is so hard to keep our students engaged. But every day I come in and I'm like, okay, we're going to go on Google Earth, and they just think it's awesome and the coolest thing in the world. I had a little kindergartner that I said we're going to study Mozart. So I'm like, we're going to go on Google Earth, and you get to go see his house. So they're like, and this little boy said, can I bring my mom and dad next time to music? So I had to explain we're not actually going to go on the plane, but they still think it's awesome. So thank you so much.